going with computer audio.
Oh, yeah. Now I can join. Okay, waiting.
All right.
Am I in?
You are?
Look at that.
Yeah.
So I don't want computer audio. Right?
No. You don't need it, I don't think.
Continue that. Yes. Okay, cool. So looking around, let's see. How do I? Is the chat? I think the chat's for Google.
So it looks like we have 3 of us here so far. Just want to welcome those of you who have joined us. And we will wait here just a little bit longer, and we will get started right at 8:30. So thank you very much. If you do have questions, there should be a chat option that you can bring up, and you're welcome to type the question that you have into the chat feature. We have another professional here who's going to be handing me questions, and I'll be happy to answer those to the best of my ability. If we're not able to answer those tonight, we will make sure we get answers and share those back with you. So, but if you do have a question, just go ahead and type over here in the chat feature what your question is, and if you can include your name and your unit, that way, if we don't know, we'll be able to get that information back to you. I'd appreciate it. So we will be ready to start at 8:30. Well, again, right now there's 3 of us. We don't know. Oh, hey, we got a 4th one that joined us. So again, we'll start right at 8:30. So give us just a few more minutes. Thanks. All right, folks, one more minute and we will be getting started out of respect for all your time. So again, thank you to those who've joined us so far, and hopefully we'll have a few more that will join us yet this evening. And I just sent around a chat to the group chat. So if you have questions throughout, you can feel free to populate your questions there in the group chat. And we'll do our best to answer them tonight or answer them here in the future once I can get an answer back for you. So about 30 more seconds or so, and then we will be ready to get started. You can hum while we're so, all right. Oh, dropped one already. So, okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Tom James. I'm the Council Program Director for Black Swamp Area Council. And thank you guys for joining us tonight. We are going to be taking a look at the Scoutbook Den Leader Beta. And this is a new feature that Scoutbook has come out. And so we just kind of wanted to walk you through, show you what this looks like, and then hopefully answer some questions for you. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start. So this is, there's two different areas we can go to. So the first is if you actually go to Scoutbook and you look at the top of the screen and you're looking for registration, to sign in, you'll have the login feature, and then you'll have login to Scoutbook Beta. And that's the actual system where you can go in and utilize this stuff. What I'm going to show you tonight is just kind of like a digital playground, an area where you can go in and tinker around, but it doesn't really mess with them. You're not necessarily inputting any information that's going to stay. You're just kind of testing out the system. So to get into that demo, you just utilize your normal Scoutbook sign-in information, login information. But for this point, we're going to use a pre-selected or a pre-input user that Scoutbook created, and we'll look through their stuff there. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the screen over so you guys can see what we are looking at here. Make sure I've got this right. Perfect. Okay, so everybody should be able to see this Scoutbook Den Leader Beta. This is, again, is the digital playground. So for future reference, if you guys do want to come back and utilize this, the web address is leaderpp.scouting.org/login. So you'll see it up at the top of the screen there. Go ahead and write that down. That's a good opportunity to have something to fall back on. And we'll also be posting some of this information later on too, so you'll have a chance to go back and take a look at it. But go ahead and write that down for your purposes. Another nice aspect to this beta that's going to be coming out is this is mobile friendly. So you guys will actually be able to access this and utilize this with your cell phones. And it actually, it pretty comparable, the mobile platform, to what you're seeing here on the desktop. So a lot of great opportunities there for you to utilize. So for now, what we're going to do is we're going to select a user to log in as. We're just going to select Vince Glasgow here, and his information pulls up down here. So we're going to go ahead and log in as Vince. And there's a lot of fun kind of cartoonish graphics here that kind of make it a little fun, and you'll see more throughout, but kind of really playing towards our Cub Scouts and our younger members. Okay. Once you, and a quick note too, if you're using a smartphone, you'll be able to use Touch ID and those kind of things once you log in. So that's an option that you'll have as well. So you do have an option to take a quick tour. We're going to skip the tour for now, but I do encourage you to come back at some point here soon and do that tour. But we're going to cover a lot of the stuff that the tour covers. So I'm going to go ahead for now. We're going to skip. And this brings you into what the dashboard looks like in the Scoutbook Beta. There's everything you need navigation-wise is here from this home page. So the first item I'll show you is this kind of orange looking face up here in the right corner. that is your account details. So you as the adult leader, and you can go in later and you can actually edit this and put your picture in there. You can do the same for your scouts and leaders and those items as well. But for now, this individual just has the kind of goofy picture. So we're going to click on that and just kind of give you a quick view. We'll be coming back to this, but when Vince goes here and goes to his account details or his account details, this is what he sees. And again, we'll come back and cover these here in a little bit. Your notification center is up here, so you can click your notification center, and if there's anything there, it will populate. They do not have any notifications here for Vince, but that's where you'll see those. And then you can also tell like what den you're looking at. So for Vince's purposes, he only has a den 9, which is a bear den. And so that's the den that he sees as that den leader. So that's the one he's tied to. Also some navigation pieces here at the bottom. The campfire in the middle is your home button. That'll always be right there at the center, and it'll bring you back to the home page. If you are looking for your meetings, you can go to the calendar icon, and that'll bring up meetings. And again, we'll get into these here in a little bit. And then the last piece here is the roster. It's also a den roster right here, but you can click on this tab and it'll bring up information about your roster. There you go. So again, we'll come back to these. I'm just showing you quickly what these are. The last thing here are two things I want to show you. The first is you can actually scroll this content over, so you can see my account, meetings, den roster, and resources. So really, those are some of the items that I've already shown you the icons for. So you can either go through there or you can go through the icons. So you have your options, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. So again, after you log in, you guys saw you'll have an opportunity for a tour. Totally up to you if you guys want to utilize that tour or not. Right now, we're not going to take a look at it, but definitely a resource for you. So I'm going to show you how to do this next step, and it's how you would go about setting up den meetings. So again, as a den leader, you're going to log into the system, and you're going to start populating and putting the information in. The big thing you want to do is you want to start by setting up your meetings. This will actually populate the calendar for you. So in order to do that, again, you're actually going to go up here and click on your account details. And then once you get in account details, you are going to select your dens. And that'll bring up available dens that you already have done, or you can actually set up a den. I did test this at one point, and because we're in this kind of digital playground, for one reason it didn't want to let me set up that den. It kept saying you already have a den populated. So I can't necessarily show you that piece of it. But like from what I understand, there are 4 short questions, and those questions are we'll be able to see the questions. I just don't think it'll set it up, but we'll try. So the first is select your den type. So let's say for this purpose, we're going to set up a girl den. Then you can pick what time your den plans to meet. So let's say that our girl den is going to meet at 6:30 to 7:30. And frequency, they're going to meet, let's just say weekly. Okay. I'll bring it up. Where does your den meet? So you can put in the address of where your den's going to meet. Just for simplicity, I'm going to use the Council Service Center. And then when will your first meeting take place? So let's say our first meeting is going to take place tomorrow, October 22nd. All done. Let's see if it does it. Yeah, so that's the same error it gave me before. It says all templates have previously been created. No worries. That's how it works. Okay, you go and you put that information in. Once you've put that information in, it will populate your calendar for you. So we'll come down here and go to our calendar. And what it does is it actually lays out information for you for every single meeting. So you'll be able to go in and if you want, you can go in, you can actually move these meetings around. So maybe you decide that, maybe one of your meeting dates that you had set falls on an event at your charter organization where they need the space and you guys can't meet that evening or something like that. You can actually rearrange, change your dates. You can say, okay, maybe we're going to, instead of doing pause for action starting on December 5th, we're going to move fellowship and duty to God. And you can move this one into that space. So you have some flexibility. Okay. So like I said, those meetings are prearranged for you. You can simply follow the meetings in the order that are recommended, or you have the option to change things and move things around. So, and to change the details. So let's go into Bear Clause here for a minute. And this meeting is scheduled for March 12th. So we want to edit this particular meeting. So we can come into this meeting, edit, and then you can change the details. Okay, instead of the 12th, this particular week, we're going to meet on the 11th, 7:30 to 8:30. And we change that. Yep, let's change it. See if it does it for me. Rock on. Okay. So, so now that meeting is changed. Okay. That gives you that flexibility. One thing I will talk about on the calendar, this was actually one little issue that they found after they got this rolled out, was that there's an issue with the time zone settings. So sometimes, or there may be a situation where you set up a meeting and it actually sets it up in a different time zone than the one you're in. Don't know why it was a glitch, but it is something that they are aware of. They're working to fix it, to get it working. So when you actually log into the real beta and go to use it, that'll be there. That'll be fixed, and you'll be able to utilize that. Okay. So let's. Well, you know what? We'll just stay here in Bear Clause. No, actually, I'm going to go back and find a different meeting here. We're going to come down. We're going to select Bobcat. So this is a meeting that already happened, but I'm going to kind of go through it anyway, just so you guys can see some of the features that are a part of this app. So you select your meeting tile to start your meeting preparation. It will show you the adventure that the den will be working on at this particular meeting, give you all your date, time, and location details. And then the meeting itself, or meetings themselves, are broken into 3 categories. You have before the meeting, during the meeting. So from the Bobcat rank, we're going to go in and look at before the meeting. What it does is it's got it broken down for you, and it lays out the details of what you as a den leader need to do before this meeting takes place. And you can go in here and you can click on each one of these pieces. So we'll start here, the note to the den leader, and it just kind of gives you a quick reminder. Regardless of what age or grade a Cub Scout is in, the Bobcat rank must be earned before earning any other rank except the Lion. Bobcat requirements focus on the fundamentals of Cub Scouting, and you as the den leader can help practice the requirements, so on and so forth. So just a quick note as a reminder to the den. Next is it talks about a value summary. So what value, what is the thing that this, the core value of what we're working on in this meeting? And for this one, this is just an introduction to basic concept of the Cub Scout program. Again, hopefully you all as den leaders, you know the Bobcat, you understand what that's about. We're teaching them the handshake. We're teaching them the sign. All those pieces, it's just the basic concepts. Requirements for this meeting. Here's all the requirements for Bobcat man. So it breaks it down.
He was holding her.
Hey, if you guys could mute yourselves, that would be helpful. That way we don't get any audio interference. I appreciate that. So requirements, again, for the Bobcat rank, it lays it out for you. So another just quick, easy reference if you need to look for those requirements. And then makeup work so if needed. Here's makeup work that the scouts may need to do if they don't make particular. So, great resources there. So then we get into the preparation and the materials that are needed. So the first item here, again, it's you select these, and if they have a drop-down arrow, I should say, they'll tell you items that you need to make sure you bring. So for conduct candle items, you need candle, matchstick lighter, candle holder. Again, sounds basic, sounds simple, but this is just an excellent resource that just kind of help you make sure you're staying on track. What you can do as you're completing these things, or as you know you finished something, so okay, I know I have my US and DEN flags. You can check that off. It's done. Okay. You can come in, look at DEN posters. Okay, if you want, you can go and get these 3-pack of DEN posters for the oath law and conduct. So you can select that as well. DEN advancement chart, having your uniform, being familiar with guides. Okay, so you can check all of these off individually as you want, or you can go through the whole list, make sure you have everything, and then you can just click it all as done. Once you're done with that, and this part confuses me a lot. I kept thinking that once I hit that, it would take me back to the next screen. Fortunately, it doesn't. Once you make sure everything's checked, you just got to come up to the left-hand corner here, select the X, and it'll take you back, okay? You'll notice on our before now that that is checked off. So we have done all the steps we need to do for the before the meeting. Excellent, we got that part done. We're gonna move on to the during aspect of the meeting. We'll select that. And what that does is it pulls up and it now has your, basically your DEN plan. Okay, it's got all the things you're gonna be doing for that particular meeting. So for your gathering, you're going to play Simon Says, and it has the rules and instructions on how to get started playing Simon Says. Very simple, very easy to follow. Then you're going to come down to the next thing, what we ask everybody to do at Scout meetings, conduct an opening ceremony. This is a great resource if you're a brand new den leader. This actually gives you tips and tricks for doing a flag ceremony at your pack or your den meetings. Okay. Great video. Unless in the comments somebody says, hey, go back and show us those videos, I'm not going to click on them right now, but just know that those resources are there for you. Oh, and it also has like the calls, so you guys can utilize this again for your scouts who maybe are doing the call part of the ceremony. They can have that as reference, and then the other scouts with the flags, you can see what their actions are, what they need to do. Conduct candle. This is an interesting concept. I don't know how many of you are utilizing this. If you are utilizing this already in your pack meetings, put something in the comments for us so that we can see that. It'd be great to hear from somebody who's maybe already utilizing this resource. But the conduct candle, again, this whole video here explains what the conduct candle is. The idea behind the conduct candle is that you light that at the beginning of the meeting. You explain to your scouts that as long as they have good conduct, the candle will continue to burn. And if they begin to act up or their conduct it becomes not good, the candle gets extinguished until they get their acts back together, and then it can be relit again. The idea being that there is an incentive for them at the end of the candle. So once the candle burns down, then they will receive something. So just kind of an interesting concept to utilize in your meetings. So if you haven't heard about that one before, you want to learn more, that video is an excellent resource. Check it out. It really explains to you exactly what you need and how to utilize the conduct candle. All right, so we're through our opening ceremony. Now it's time to just kind of have some talk time. We're going to be talking just about some basic items. So the first thing we're going to do is welcome the den. Pretty simple. Welcome everybody. Introduce yourself and the assistant leader. Ideally, this meeting is your first den meeting of the year. So welcome them. The next item is you want to review den specific information. So go over things like where are the restrooms located here, what areas of the building or the space you're in are restricted. Make sure that they're utilizing the buddy system. And then the other piece that's really good in this time is make sure you have everyone's registration. Make sure everyone's registered and good to go. The next item on here, remind Cub Scouts to wear their uniforms and bring their handbooks. Pretty simple. The next item is a family talent survey. This survey will help you identify adults in the den who can assist with special projects. I know I see Colin is on this call. Colin, I see it's not on here as a PDF. I don't know if this is something, family talent survey, that we as a council have that we can share out, or if that's already in the packets that are given out for sign-up nights. But if you want to chime in or comment in and let us know, we can share that with everybody so they know how to get their hands on a family talent survey. The next item is a code of conduct for the den. So here is a code of conduct poster. You're welcome to utilize that. But great idea to set a code of conduct for the den that explains what everyone is expected to do and what rules you want them to follow. Again, explain the conduct candle to everybody. And then you're going to introduce the Bobcat badge. Have the Scouts open up their handbooks. Have them follow along with what you're talking about. Now we're going to get into the activities, really the meat and potatoes of the meeting. So you're going to be taking a look at all these activities. So the first thing you're going to do is choose a dinner. Have the Scouts form a line in alphabetical order by last names. The first Scout in line will serve as the dinner for the rest of this meeting and all of the next meeting. Explain to them that being the dinner means that you are the den leader's helper. They'll be the Cub Scout who calls the commands for the opening flag ceremony, so on and so forth. And then you can give them a cord for that as well. Then you're going to go through each of the activities. Learn and say the Scout oath. Learn and say the Scout law. Okay. Again, each of these break down what you need to utilize, or what you need to have them do. Cub Scout sign, handshake, motto, salute. Okay, it breaks it all down here. And then you're going to discuss the at-home or do-at-home project. So the last requirement in Bobcat, for example, is when you do at home, they must complete the exercises in the How to Protect Your Children from Child Abuse pamphlet that is part of their handbook. So again, great resource, but something they have to do at home. Once that's all done, you're going to sign and date their completed requirements in their handbooks. Remind parents that they have that at-home project. And then for closing ceremony, this one they did a living circle. So you can see there what they want them to do with the living circle. You're going to conduct a closing flag ceremony, and you're going to blow out the conduct candle. So at the end of the meeting, the candle gets extinguished. Okay. So we've done that. Let's say we've completed everything. All right. Mark all as done. Okay. So we've completed the during the meeting aspect. One piece I didn't go over, and in here it talks about you can do it before or after the meeting, but make sure you take it. You want to take attendance. Okay, so we'll check on that one here in a minute. But before that, we're just going to go to the after meeting real quick, and all this is just a reminder to clean up your area and make sure everything is taken care of. So let's just say that we've completed that now. All right, so we have 3 check marks. We're going to take attendance and finish. This pack, obviously, they they just are using the kind of goofy emojis for their Scouts. But you can, again, you can go in and you can actually edit these individual Scouts profiles with pictures, if that's something that you choose to do. Miles, we have him select this. He's coming. So let's say maybe at the beginning of the meeting, you took attendance. By the end of the meeting, Drew down here showed up. You were able to catch Drew up. He was able to complete all the requirements and the things that he worked on. So we're going to give Drew that check mark and show that Drew was there. We're going to update our attendance. Let's see if it'll do it for me. Earlier today, it was being difficult. Okay, well, you guys get the idea that you'll be taking your attendance there. And that's how the meeting aspect is utilized. Okay, we're going to go back now to the home page. I want to say it was bare necessities, the next upcoming meeting. Nope, not that one. There was another one that I looked at that had some other resources in it, and I just wanted to show those to you. If I could find them. Oh, okay, here's one where it talks about reference this page in their handbook. So again, instead of you as the leader having to go and seek that out, it's already identified here for you. Okay. So we're going to go back to the home page. We're going to talk now about the Den roster. So again, here's your Den roster. The Den roster shows you all the youth that are in your den. Okay, it also identifies the parent that is attached to that scout. It gives you a quick visual progress of where they're at in terms of working on aspects. So you can see all the scouts in this den are behind. That means they've missed meetings. That means that they have stuff that they have not completed or not worked on. So you can go back in, you can help them get caught up and track. And then once they are where they need to be, that'll actually turn green. It'll say on track. Okay. The other piece then to this is it'll also show your adults. Oh, hey, look at that. Marty Borchers is a den admin here. So that's a reference piece for you again. It has your adults in here. If they have their YPT, it's going to show that in there as well. And shows what positions they're registered in. So den leader, den admin, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes, parent, guardian, so on and so forth. If you need to add a new member to your den, there is the add new member button right down here. So who is joining the den? Oh, you can select if it's a leader, a scout, or a parent. Okay. So then you just follow the process and search for them and put the information in as you go. Okay. Important thing to note on adding members. Youth and leaders have to be registered with the BSA before you can actually add them to your den on Scoutbook. So before you go in and try and put them in, make sure that you get the proper steps taken care of, get their application filled out, get that turned in, get their registration fees paid, get them taken care of so that they can be added into this and you can be tracking their information. If you have a member in here that you end up removing from your den for whatever reason, they leave or something along those lines, it doesn't actually remove them from the pack listing. It just will remove them from your den listing. So your pack leadership will have to make sure they go in on the pack account and remove that scout from the pack if they have in fact left scouting. Okay. So when you get into a den member profile, again, this is going to show you visual cues on their progress. So Alex here, actually it's not showing his progress, but it'll show up here his rank that he's working on and his percentage of how far along he is working on that particular rank. His attendance, so attendance history is right here. Poor Alex here only has a 27% attendance history. So obviously some opportunity there, but it shows you that quick reference. It gives you a quick view of their adult parents or their guardians. So in this case, Heidi is connected to Alex in the system as a parent guardian. I think that if you click, there should be a feature. It's not showing up here right now, but there should be a feature there where you have a quick ability to contact those leaders by phone or email. And there will be little icons there that you can select. So you can pull that up if you need to shoot a quick email to Heidi, let her know if things going on with Alex. You can do that. And then the other piece that it'll show is if they have any activity or adventures that are that they've been working on recently, it'll show it down here. So right here, he only has Alex only has adventures, and he currently doesn't have any adventures on there. But if he did, it would actually show things that he's working on. So let's come back and see if one of these other Scouts has anything. No, not Camden. Man. Okay. Well, darn. So anyways, it will show you down here and it'll pop up icons. So like a great example, it'll have an activity log down here, and it might pop up and say, missed meeting number 3. And then it'll say next meeting is in X number of days. This adventure is required. It might say, oh, we made this connect, or this connection was added. So maybe they were connected to a parent or guardian. Okay. And it'll also show like if a meeting was complete. So it gives you those aspects. And then again, adventures, it'll show adventures. So perhaps they've done Baloo the Builder or Bear Picnic Basket. Okay, it'll show up down here. There'll be another tab that says activities, and it will have that information there that you can take a look at. All right, so we're going to go back now. We're going to go to the home page. And we're going to go back up here to our Den Leader account details. Again, I talked about before, but if you want, you can upload pictures of yourself here. You have direct access to your own personal data that you can get to, and then there's scouting resources. So you can take the app, you can look at your dens. Here's your scouting resources, and what that is it brings you in here, and it gives you links. So information about scouters and law, activity consent forms, handbook, annual health and medical record. Oh, there is the family talent survey. So it gives you resources. Leader guide. A lot of us go and we buy the printed leader guide from the Scout Shop, or we try and download it online and carry a printed copy with us. Totally fine if you still want to do those, but if you're a tech person, you don't mind having it on an app and having it at your hand, you can go and click on Leader Guide. This particular leader guide is a den leader is a bear den leader. So he is going to have the bear leader guide. It's going to be coded to his account. It's going to pop up so he can pull it up at any time, and he can reference the bear den leader guide. Great resource, especially if you're out and about and maybe you don't necessarily have your scouting stuff with you. You can still get in there and you can pull this up and take a look at it. Okay. So you have all of those resources. There are forms, there's trainings, there's informational and help videos. There is plenty of stuff here to help you out. Here's the Den Leader tips and tricks video series. Excellent resource on the scouting.org website if you've not had a chance to take a look at it. Anything from how to run a den meeting to your badge, rank badge overviews, flag ceremony, the good conduct candle. Excellent items in there for you guys to utilize, okay? All right, then the last piece, and I'm gonna see real quick if I can share this document. I don't know if I have it open or not. Yeah, that's, do you by chance see that on your screen, that PDF?
Yeah.
In the back. Oh, you see that now?
Yeah, the Scoutbook for them.
Perfect. Okay. So this is the document that I've been going through, and again, we'll make this available. If you don't already have it, we'll make sure it's available for you guys to access. But I've been just kind of going along and utilizing this, and it goes through all these details that we've been discussing. Okay. Let me get down to the end here. Here is that den member profile, the activity log that I was telling you about, and the adventures that they can complete. Again, you have those that you can look at. This is the piece that I wanted to share with you as well. So with parent connection, so when you go in and you establish a parent connection with a scout, they will automatically receive notices, either if an adventure is earned, or for example, if a scout misses a meeting, they'll get an automatic email sent to them, and it'll have either this congratulations, which you guys can see there. It has information about what the scout worked on, a few key things that the scout learned. It gives some things to reinforce, okay? it hits back to the value proposition, what we want that scout to take away from that. So that shares that information. If they miss the meeting, they'll get an automatic notice, and it'll show them what requirements need to be made up at home, what things they need to work on. Again, excellent resource, and it allows you to maintain communications that just kind of makes it a little faster for you, as opposed to it being something you got to go back and communicate individually to every parent, let them know what's going on, or make sure you catch Timmy's mom before she gets him in the car and they head off to soccer or whatever thing they have next after your pack meeting or den meeting. So excellent resource there for you as well. So before we cover the next piece, I gotta find my question then would be if anybody has any questions so far. Okay, Alice is here helping me. She says, no, we don't have any other questions at the moment. So another piece of information that was shared with me today, and I wanted to make sure I passed it along to all of you, is if you go into Scoutbook, here, let me stop looking at that and come back to me. Okay, perfect. If you go to Scoutbook, the actual, not the beta, but the actual Scoutbook, and you go into the unit account, it can actually, you can set up individuals as den administrators. And so you can give your den leaders access to be den administrators. That gives them greater access, from my understanding, to have a little bit of control over their den roster. I know there was more details to that Mark had shared with me, and I think Mark is potentially on the call if he wants to share your chat with more information about that. But excellent opportunity to share that. And I think when we were taking a look at some of the adults on there that were listed, it actually showed some adults that had a den administrator code attached to them. So that is what that den administrator aspect was. With that being said, those are really the details of kind of what we wanted to show you. This is an excellent tool that we are hoping that our leaders can utilize, that hopefully will make things a little easier, especially for a new den leader who is coming on board and they're trying to figure out what they need to be doing, what their responsibilities really are. Obviously, we know we have the adult leader training for them, and that is an excellent resource in and of itself. But having this is another great aspect, something they can have right at their fingertips on their phone, and they can be utilizing this resource leading up to, throughout their preparation for their meeting, even throughout their meeting if they need to take a look, for example, at that den leader guide. It's right there, and it's an accessible resource. So we want you to take this information, share that back with your packs. If you guys aren't utilizing it, if you're a den leader yourself, get on there and start utilizing it. Set it up to benefit your pack and start utilizing that resource and see how it works for you. I know we have a couple packs who have den leaders who have already been using this resource, and they love it. They think it's an excellent resource for them, and hopefully it'll be an excellent resource for you as well. So I have 9:07. I will give you guys an opportunity if anybody else has questions or that they want to type in the group chat, or even if they want to ask a question, if you want to unmute yourself and ask them, we'll do our best to answer them. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we'll make sure that this presentation is available. So if you have another den leader in your pack who couldn't join us tonight, they'll be able to review this and see it, and hopefully you guys can put this to use. So thank you very much.